Hey Mammoth Family Public Library teens. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a quick bread. We're going to be doing pumpkin and chocolate chip quick bread. And then we'll talk a little bit while I'm doing this about what exactly is a quick bread and how it differs from a regular white bread or whole wheat bread. But first, let me show you what I have. I'm going to flip that down a little bit. Okay, so if you've seen any cooking shows, you know what a mise en place is. And so I have different ingredients and different bowls here. I have 1 3/4 cup of flour, 1 1/3 cup of sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And you'll be getting that in the kit if you join our class for next week. I have powdered sugar, soda, baking soda, and baking powder, and salt in here. And that's my dry ingredients, other than my chocolate chips, which we add at the end. And for wet ingredients, I have eggs, I have oil, and I have pumpkin with a little bit of water. Now, what makes a quick bread a quick bread? A quick bread is called that because basically it is quick. And to, as opposed to a leaven or a yeast bread, which can take hours because you have to let the biological leavening take effect. Quick breads are usually done with a chemical leavening, which is the baking powder and baking soda. And how that works is that those are alkali based. We add a little acid and they make it into, that's what makes them rise. Now, if you add the leavening too fast to the acid, the chemical reaction will spend itself before you can bake it and get it to rise in the oven. So first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven. I've already done that. And then spray a loaf pan with non-stick spray. Get that all ready so that as soon as we are done with this, we can put it into the oven and bake it. So the first thing we're going to do is add our dry ingredients, whisk them together in a smaller bowl. There we go. And sugar. And baking soda and baking powder and salt. And the spices. Now, would I normally do all of this mise en place? Probably not, because that seems to me a lot of bowls to make a mess, and you can just add them all into one bowl and mix them up that way, but I thought I would show you the individual ingredients. And again, this will all come into a kit that we're going to be doing next week. Well, by the time this shows, we'll probably already have done this, so because we're going to post this afterwards. But anyway, so now we have the dry ingredients. Very fast. Wet ingredients. We have a cup of pumpkin. It's the fall. We're going to do pumpkin. Yay. We have our 2 eggs. Mix all those together. Have our oil. And one of the things that I forgot, but I don't like to put that into a bowl because I think it wastes it, is the vanilla. So we do a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla adds nice flavor to things. And we don't add the chocolate chips until the end because we don't want them to be too mixed in. So, let's see. There we go. So that's everything there. And now we're going to go ahead and mix those together. See how simple this is? And you don't need like a stand mixer or even a hand mixer. You can just do this all by hand. No special equipment other than your oven. So we're going to mix that up pretty well. All right. There we go. Now, add the water. Don't want to forget that. You might make it a little too thick if you don't add the water because you're adding a lot of dry ingredients. And don't worry about overmixing it when it's like this. You have to worry about overmixing it when when you have the flour and the sugar mixed into here because you don't want to make it too rough. Now some people, if you get on the internet, some people will ask what's the difference between a quick bread and a cake. Mostly, I think, is that a cake is a little more tender with a little less crust and a slightly, as I said, more tender crumb. All right, now we're just going to add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and mix those up as fast as we can, but not too much. You just want it until it's just mixed together. You can use the same whisk, you can use a spoon, it doesn't matter. We're mixing that together. And again, you don't want it too much. See how it's just come together? Excellent. Now we add the chocolate chips. You can add more or less. You don't like chocolate chips, since pumpkin bread is just fine. I'm using the last of a bag, so we're not going to have tons of chocolate chips in this particular recipe. Okay. And that's all we need to do for the quick bread in terms of batter. Now I'm going to get a spatula that I should have got before I started recording this. Again, I should have got the spatula before I recorded this. You can get this all together. And then we just put it into the pan. As much out as you can. Smooth it down a little. You want it in all the corners. You don't have to like whack it or anything like that. And smooth it in just so it's even. Okay, now you're going to put this into the oven for about 45 minutes. You're going to check it about 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes. And then bring it out and cool it on a rack. Okay, so we have the bread, the quick bread, the pumpkin chocolate chip bread. It has, I just tested it in the oven, and the toothpick is coming out clean, so I can go get it. I do have a wire rack down here, as you can see, for it to rest on. You don't want it to rest directly onto a surface because it's very hot, plus it'll start steaming in the, you want to lift it up a little bit so that the air can escape around it. But if you don't have that one, you can use two cans. If you don't have a rack, you can use 2 cans. But here, let's go get the bread. And it looks lovely. There it is. We're going to let this rest here for about 10 minutes, and then we'll turn it out and let it cool completely before we slice it. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes of cooling, so now we're going to flip it out using our hot pads because it's hot. Oh, look at how nicely that came out. And there it is. So now you have your quick bread. Very quick, very easy, and using those principles, you can make any kind of quick bread. I hope you've had a good time. And I hope to see you in our classes at the Mammon Family Public Library online on Thursdays at 6. Bye!